EGM Network.
This is Martha Matters. From real estate, healthcare, current events, taxes, or just about any topic, we're talking about it. Call us with any questions on just about any subject. Now, here she is, Martha!
Well, hi there, and hello, everyone. I have an interesting topic, and I really mean it. What the media does not say or tell that you should know. And all media, I don't care whether it's conservative, liberal, moderate, you name it. When most people want transparency, and another word for that, most people want to know the whole story, what really counts. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of that. I do in my family, and even way back to my aunts and uncles and my husband, we do have military people, my brothers, because they were all drafted and they picked several skilled positions. So I'm knowing all of that and watching what I heard on the media, I've got to tell you the difference. I'll just use one example. I heard on the news that they're using these large, heavy transport planes to bus the illegal immigrants or the criminal immigrants. And let me tell you, that sounds awful expensive, like we're paying through the nose. Well, it's not as expensive as it sounds. First of all, for all planes, and especially military planes, even these large transport planes, the pilots have to operate them so many hours a month, a day, a week, in order to be in prison shape and to keep their absolute pilots up to date. Believe it or not, before this mass deportation started, every single day there were empty transport planes going to Puerto Rico and back, and different areas and back, Colombia and back. So the cost of the pilots and maintaining the planes is constant. You all know, for those of you who live in California, my God, you have planes and helicopters up all the time, and people wonder, why are they doing so much of this? They've got to keep all the military equipment and the pilots up to date with any changes, and they all have to have so many hours of flying every month, or they're asked to resign. So knowing all of that, and then using these transport planes, instead of flying empty to Puerto Rico, we're now filling them with the more criminal elements of the illegals, and we're flying them to Colombia and Ecuador. It isn't that much more expensive. Yes, it uses a little more gas, because instead of an empty plane, it's heavy. But in terms of paying the pilots, in terms of maintaining the equipment on the airplane and using the airplane, they would be used at the same rate, whether it's full or empty. The only difference that you could argue is putting all the illegals on it. I'm sure it will use a little more gas, just like it would heavy equipment, because it weighs heavier, but that is it. It's not outrageously expensive.
You know what,
And-
Martha, I want to interrupt you for a second. You bring up a good topic because I remember one of the things that the media did say on many, many stories before President Trump came into office this time, took the oath of office, that was going to be the biggest thing. How is this going to really actually play itself out, and how much money is this going to cost? So you're saying that the money was already being spent.
Absolutely.
So that's what the media didn't say. I
That's-
didn't hear that in any story saying, well, all we're going to do is fill up a plane where we were flying them empty all day long anyway.
Yeah, nobody ever said we're
They
flying
didn't.
them empty.
They didn't. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good point.
And I want you to know it's not only that outside of the military that I'm using an example of, all the hurricane planes we use. Those pilots, too, have to fly the hurricane planes, the ones that fly into the eye of the hurricane and whatnot. They have to put in so many hours a month and a week for 12 months. They don't go back and put the planes in the hangar for 6 months when it's not hurricane season and be on a 6-month vacation. They've got to do likewise. And none of that is mentioned either.
Okay,
The
yeah.
cost of the weather service, and we could go on and on with that. But I feel that the general public should really know all of this. But all the media, I don't care who it is, conservative, liberal, left, right, and those in the middle, they all forget to tell the entire story, which to me is important. If using those transport planes is not that much more expensive, that's a big deal rather than the rest of us thinking of all the major costs we must incur to get rid of the illegals. It's not as costly as they imply. I have another area that I'd like to mention that's a little more recent. I could probably have about 6 or 8 sessions of saying where all the information is not properly communicated to the public. One thing with that Trump election, everybody wants transparency. Everyone wants to know what's happening, and everyone wants to know the whole story. This is a change in America, and I'm leading up to my next event, next situation, which is why America is changing. The Department of Education was appointed by and established by President Jimmy Carter. And at the time, it was very, very much in need. The 3 basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic, had the fabulous teachers in the wealthier neighborhoods, and in the poorer neighborhoods, not only were they not being taught the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, as they used to call it, but they were little more than a babysitting agency while a single parent or both parents had to go to work. And let alone learning history, learning everything, reading properly, even how to write a check. Granted, writing checks are becoming obsolete.
Obsolete, yeah. There was someone here in town, a couple of people here in town that were talking about that back in the day before the schools were integrated and supposedly brought up to date, everything equal, that they used to get their books, some of these schools, at page 58, 57. I mean, they didn't even get the whole books. They just got whatever was ripped apart, left over.
Yes, it was really bad.
It was really bad.
And the Department of Education then was needed. Well, let me tell you, right after Jimmy Carter, you had President Reagan, who really made sure that all schools were getting properly licensed and qualified teachers, and it got better and better. Well, guess what, folks? All those people that got a better education from Jimmy Carter, from Ronald Reagan on up, all of a sudden they are now the parents and grandparents, and they know what they're doing. And guess what? The Federal Department of Education, that is now in the process of, at least Trump is trying to close it, is not bettering education. They were pushing private agendas of wokeism, and they are still pushing private agendas of all kids should have the option of changing their sex when they're in kindergarten and first grade, like they know what they want, and they don't at that age. And so all of a sudden, the Department of Education is nothing but corrupt to the left. Mm-hmm. And what's happening is that the parents who now grew up under Reagan and Jimmy Carter, and they know what should be taught, not the color of your skin being important, but how well you are learning and interested in bettering yourself. Like Martin Luther King says, I'm interested in the content of your character and your achievements and your desires for success. I am not interested in the color of your skin.
Right, yeah. That
is Martin Luther King. And wokeism is exactly the opposite. If you're black, you're inferior, and we understand that, but you're entitled to all the equity positions and equity institutions that can be possible for you. That is not what America was founded on and what America wants. America doesn't care about the color of your skin. America allows for each and every person, regardless of their color, to pull themselves up, to do some tough things. It's not fun being a student 80% of the time and learning other languages and learning everything. Some of it is interesting and fascinating, and the teachers can make history fascinating. I remember my history teacher was jumping up and down when she was talking about Teddy Roosevelt. She came in with a cane, called it a big stick, and waved it all around the room to wake us up and make us laugh. But that's what Teddy Roosevelt did when he established the park departments and recreation areas. And it's nice when teachers can give a little enthusiasm and a little color rather than just relating the facts to you to memorize dates and events. And half the dates you'll forget anyway when you get older.
You know what, too? That lends itself, too, to the premise of they were teaching to the test. I mean, how many times have we heard that really the only thing that mattered was what the score was at the end of the day?
Absolutely.
It wasn't that people were actually learning. It's what you just said exactly, Martha, that was just remember the dates and this and that and we're on to the next one.
Yes. And
then you're not going to remember this stuff then.
And dates other than within a 10-year decade or something aren't really that important.
Right.
It is so interesting. Well, because of that, that's why the federal Department of Education, Trump wants to abolish because it's nothing but pushing the far left agenda of wokeism, which is already 80% dead.
Mm-hmm.
And the parents in all the states and in all the school districts, they know the importance of education, no matter how smart or dumb they are, or no matter how their color is, white, yellow, black, it doesn't matter. Look at J.D. Vance's parent, a drunken mother, a single parent who raised him, but she was smart enough to learn in her stupors that he should learn everything he can at school. Education is important.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really think that education has come to really, really being an important major backbone of all our society, upper, middle, and lower classes, in order to be successful, to maybe even making more money than your parents.
Yeah.
That still is going on.
Mm-hmm.
When the kids are taught to be ambitious enough, not just sit back and keep your mouth shut. And the parents in all 50 states are a lot smarter than they were 50 years ago because of Jimmy Carter and because of Reagan. But at this point, when a federal Department of Education is nothing but political, and all 50 states, both locally and at the state capital level, have intelligent people who know the importance of education has to be maintained to all, not reduced like the last 4 years when the test scores have been going down steadily, steadily because of wokeism. So when I first heard it, and I'm sure like most of you, I had second thoughts. I wasn't totally in favor of closing down the federal education system. I thought, education, my God, that needs to be made better, not closed down. Well, guess what? All the parents who have gotten a good education in the last 50 years, they are now fighting the wokeism, which was 100% started by the Federal Department of Education. Yeah. That is the reason it is being closed down now.
Mm-hmm.
Not curriculum.
Right.
And not what the local and state capitals want.
Yeah, the teachers are also fighting, a lot of the teachers too, because they're on the front lines. You know, they see it every day, and they're the ones that are trying to implement what these procedures are, and they know they're not working.
Mm-hmm. And in the past weeks, when Waters and others all of a sudden in front of the Department of Education wanted to get inside and keep it open for the sake of the kids, where were they for the sake of the kids these last 4 years when the scores are going down, down, and down? Well, on that score, we have to take a break, but stay with us. We'll be right back. I want to introduce you to our main sponsor, Highland Plaza, located on US 1 on the east side of the Highland Drive traffic light. We even have our own left-hand turn lane. One of the places in there, the first one on the north side, is Easy Stop, and you will be surprised what competitive and beautiful prices they have. You should give it a shot. Also, Tony's Hairstyling Salon is ideal for the entire family at all ages. He and his wife have run a salon there for years with a huge following. Also, we want to tell you about La Taberna Restaurant. It has the freshest Mexican food in town and a well-experienced chef. You will be most surprised not only by the food, but the reasonable prices. Also, I want to tell you about the nail salon. It's Luxury Nails. Let me tell you, they do everything, both for walk-in clients and appointments. Appointments are really appreciated, but they treat all clients professionally. Now, I want to repeat to you, this is located on US 1, just east of Highland Drive at the traffic light. It's a beautiful yellow building with a maroon awning. We look forward to seeing you there. Come on over.
Create your island paradise at Sunshine Furniture during our winter sale event. Save 50% on all Tommy Bahama and Lexington, including the newest collection, Key Biscayne. Living room, dining room, occasional chairs, office, and media furniture with sophisticated design and a mix of coastal and Caribbean style. All Tommy Bahama and Lexington offer everything you need for your Florida living. We have the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture from Four Seasons, Capri, Universal, Riverside, Hooker, Seawinds, Barcalounger, Best, and lots more. At Sunshine Furniture, we're the outdoor furniture experts specializing in patio sets that withstand the Florida elements, and we have a gallery of Berlin Garden and Bollywood. Come in now for the best prices of the year. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach. Don't miss the 50% off winter sale on Tommy Bahama and Lexington going on now. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and visit our outlet store directly across the street.
Winner of the Tony Award for Best Play, Master Class, takes you into the world of opera legend Maria Callas. Hear her life-altering lessons as she teaches, inspires, and challenges her students. Based on real-life classes Callas delivered at Juilliard, this is a glimpse into the soul of one of the 20th century's most celebrated artists. Her voice, her artistry, her legacy. Masterclass is now playing on the beautiful Waxlack stage at the Riverside Theater. Tickets available now at the box office or online.
Hey you! Host your very own show every week at Evergreen Media Network in Vero Beach. Go live to YouTube and Facebook with up to 4 people and your very own producer. Be heard on more than 15 podcast platforms and local radio. All you have to do is show up and talk. Your guests can join from anywhere in the world. It's easy to get started with the largest podcast studio on the Treasure Coast. Contact Evergreen Media to tour the studio.
Hi there, we're back and welcome back. I have one other one. I only have like a couple of minutes to talk to you about it that really affected all these firings that Musk has found out and that the Democratic Party is complaining about. These stupid things under U.S. aid where we paid money for a cartoon parade in Iran, and I saw a clip from it, and it even showed, I think, Charlie Brown or a character like him speaking out, saying something, and had his wrist cut off, and he smiled. And stuff like that, that is ridiculous, that we spent millions of dollars on with this U.S. aid, having a sex change in Guatemala and paying unlimited amounts for that to happen at any age. Things like that wasted billions and billions of dollars of our tax money. Well, I'm telling you, with just being done, what's done so far, very quickly, but in the 3 weeks that he was president, President Trump, each and every taxpayer has saved $11.39 a day, and right now to $249.39 in taxes per person for our entire population just in these 3 weeks. So on that note, let's be positive, let's think of everything, and that is going the right way. So have a great week, folks.